Hello, this is Tuesday, just the Tuesday right after Easter Sunday, and I had a little bit on my heart that I would like to, a little message I wanted to share with you in just a few moments. I want to work with the text that I had worked on Sunday morning, Easter. It's John 20, 11 through 16. Talking of Mary Magdalene, Mary stood outside near the tomb crying. As she cried, she bent down to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels dressed in white seated where the body of Jesus had been, one at the head and one at the foot. And the angels asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" And she replied, "They have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they've put him." As soon as she said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" Thinking that he was the gardener, she replied, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will go get him." And Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned and she said to him in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. The first Easter didn't start with joy. It started with sorrow. It started with grief. It started with confusion. And Mary was one who had loved Jesus, had been with him quite a bit, had traveled with him, which not many women traveled around with their beloved rabbis like that. But she came to the tomb not expecting to find that the tomb was empty. She came and found it empty, and she was fearful. She was confused. What has happened? She is crying, it said, and she's heartbroken, and she's distraught, and she's grieving with tears in her eyes. Why? Because she has lost her beloved rabbi. Not only that, but she saw how cruelly people had treated him. So it's confusing. Why would God let such a horrible thing happen? She looks in the tomb, and two messengers are there. She did not recognize them probably as messengers of God, angels, but they said, "Woman, why are you crying?" And she said, "They've taken away my Lord. I don't know where they've laid him." And as she turns around, there was Jesus. Through her tears, through her grief, she did not recognize that it was Jesus, but he was there all along right behind. "Woman, why are you crying?" "Because they've taken away my Lord." But she thought he was the gardener. "But if you know where they've taken him, would you show me where it is? If you have taken him away, show me where the body is. I'll go get it." And then he called her name, Mary. Mary. You know, Jesus is always there. Those early disciples on the first Easter, they were behind closed doors too, for different reasons than we are, but we're behind closed doors. We're having to communicate through social media, through Zoom calls right now, because people are afraid and they are in their homes. But Jesus knows right where you are and is right there as we turn around. We may not recognize him, but he's a presence that's with us. She recognized him instantly when he said her name, Mary. And Jesus calls us, just like he called Simon. "I'm going to call you Peter the Rock." James and John, "You're the sons of Boanerges. You're the sons of thunder." When he said, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" Jesus is there as a calming presence. And in the middle of COVID, in the middle of this quarantine and all of the things that are going on, Jesus is always there. He knows our name. He's like the good shepherd. It says, "I know my sheep by name and they know me." Jesus is right there with you. Thanks be to God. Amen.